Namaste. One of the classic questions that's asked a great deal from practically everybody at some time in their life is, who am I? Now this is a very strange question if you think about it. Who am I? I seem to know the I, that I exist, and I'm asking, but who am I? The questioner is the I, but the questioner is saying who that I is. In order to evaluate this, we need to ask the person who knows I best of all. Can't ask anybody else. Might as well ask myself. I'm the world's greatest authority on me. And as a result, we need to analyze this question from the perspective of the individual, me. And when you look at this, let's apply some analytic techniques to things that we know. So, for example, first thing is that I appear to see many things around me. Objects, this pen, this board, that eraser. Many objects around me. There are many objects all around the world, but only one set of eyes. So effectively, take the first rule. We need some operating principles, so by which we can evaluate operating principles. And the first one of these is a very important rule. The rule is, anything that I see is not me. If I see this pen, I'm the knower of this pen. The pen is known. I, clearly, am not a pen. So, that means that the knower, that's me, is not the same as the known. I'm not the pen, I'm not the chair, I'm not the board, because I know the chair or the board or the pen. So the knower and the known are different. The knower knows, and the knower knows the thing that is known. If I see the pen, I'm the seer, the pen is the seen. I am not the pen. Okay? Now the second rule is that I appear to see many things, so known objects around me are many. But eyes that do the seeing are one. So the known may be many, but the knower is one. So that's the second operating principle. And these are important to remember, and you'll see why shortly. So, first of all, I am not that which is known because I'm the knower. And secondly, there are many objects around me that are known, and there's only one me. When we talk about I can see objects, that is just one way of knowing. Of course, we have many more ways of knowing. We have ears to be able to hear by. So I can hear many sounds, but I only have one set of ears. Rather than saying, you do have 2 ears, you need to say, I only have one hearing. I only have one sight. I only have one sense of smell, one taste, and I have touch. Touch is an interesting one because our touch, the organ of touch, is effectively our skin. It's all over our body. And that sense organ feeds information back as touch. So, first rule, the knower and the known are different. There are many things that are known and the knower is one. And the third and final rule here that I want to talk about is that the known changes, right? But the knower is changeless. How does that come about? Well, first of all, if you see any particular object, then it's going to change over time. It's going to change over distance, it may be moving, it is changing. But I, in order to detect that change, effectively, I'm not changing. By not changing, I'm able to detect things that change. So I'm here, I see that the sun is rising, I see that a cloud is moving in front of the sun, and I observe all of that because I am stationary. If I was moving at the same speed as the cloud, amongst the cloud, I wouldn't be able to detect the cloud. So, the knower changes. There are many objects and they change all the time. The knower is changeless. Now let's take that further. In how does knowing work? So, first of all, the objects come to my sense organs. Let's just talk about eyes for a moment because that's the easiest. So I see a lot of things. My eyes are one. The one thing I cannot see are my eyes. And the reason I can't see them is because they can't see themselves. They are the knower in this case. My eyes know the objects that are seen. You could say, well, you can clearly stand in front of a mirror, but then I'm seeing a reflection. I'm seeing technically my eyes, but I'm not seeing them directly. I'm seeing them through a reflection. So in this way, we have to understand, and this is an interesting way of looking at things, that all the sense organs, and they primarily, of course, come out through the head, and this is the best representation you're going to get of the side of a person's face out of me today. Good. Got a bit of a big head, but just a lot of brain power in there. So clearly there's eyes here, nose, mouth there. Let's give him or her a ear, a bit of punky hair. How's that? And this is representation of the head. You notice that most of our organs, eyes, nose, sense of smell, mouth, sense of taste, hearing, and indeed touch associated with the head, as well as the rest of the body, is all concentrated close to the center where they're going to be analyzed, which is, of course, our brain, our mind. So, just as objects are many, eyes are one. Remember, eyes are a representation of all 5 sense organs: eyes, nose, mouth, ear, touch, whatever, skin. Those 5 sense organs are many, but the mind with which I receive that sound, that sight, that sense of touch, that taste and whatever, is just one. Let's clear this person's head, and we can see that basically all of those sense organs end up creating, if you like, a ripple in our mind, an awareness. All the sense organs, from hearing, from sense of smell, from taste, and indeed skin, it all ends up with ripples, events in the mind, because that's where our vision is. If you think about it, vision with the eyes creates an image that's 1/4 of an inch high, upside down in the back of our head, back of our retina. Is that what we see? Clearly not. Is that what goes down the optic nerve? No. Is that what we see inside the visual cortex of the brain? No. We see the image in its full glory. So that seeing, that sense of seeing, is being done in our head. In the same way, the sense of smell, taste, hearing, and touch is being seen, is playing out in our mind. So, The organs are many, but the mind is one. Just as the objects here, be it a car, this is the best car you're going to get, be it this pen, for instance, whatever the object is, the objects are many, eyes are one, eyes and the sense organs are many, the mind is one. And in the mind, what we get effectively are little representations of these objects. And that's how we recognize them, or the pen in this case. They're basically undulations, signals in our mind. Now, we said the mind is one, but actually the mind is not one. Classically, the mind is analyzed as being four things. It's not just the mind. It's also the intellect. The mind is known as the thing that vacillates. It gathers the information and it says, is this a pen? Or it might not be a pen. Is that a car? Is that a blue car? Or is that a dark violet car? Can't tell the difference. It vacillates from one to the other. Intellect is the part that takes the decision. It says, that's a blue car. Okay? So that's the intellect. We also have other bits. We have memory. Memory allows us to do the evaluation that says, that's a car. I know that's a car because I've seen cars before. I know what cars look like. And I know that's a pen because I've seen those before as well. All right? So the memory does the evaluation. The mind gathers the information and is vacillating between what it should take, performing some level of analysis, and then the intellect takes the final decision and says, that's what it is. But there is one more item, one more thing in the mind, and that's ego. After the decision is taken, the ego says, that's mine. That's my car. That's my pen. That's my thought. All right. So, objects are many, eyes are one. Sense organs are many, mind is one. Mind is many, so what is the knower of the mind? The fact that you know a thought, like this is a car, this is my car, that is something that is known. And if that is something that is known, then there is a knower. We've just gone through all the parts of the mind, including the ego. So who is the knower, for instance, of the my thought? And really, the knower of the many is one. And that one is called awareness. That by which your thoughts are known. That is the knower. Your thoughts are the known. The known are many. The knower is one. The knower and the known are not the same. Thoughts inside your mind of images that are outside, thoughts that have been internally generated, emotions, sadness, happiness, these are taking place in the mind, and they are known by the knower of the mind. You are aware of them. And therefore this awareness affects all of the aspects of mind. How can you think of this in some sort of analogy? Awareness is almost like, if you like, the sun. The sun sheds light, And by that light, your thoughts are illuminated. So think of it that way, if that helps you. One sun can illuminate all thoughts. So single awareness is the knower that can be aware of, can know about many thoughts. Many thoughts are the mind. The mind is aware of the sense organs. Sense organs are known of many objects. The known changes. Mental activities change. One day you may be sad, another day you're happy. In order to detect that change, awareness can neither be sad nor happy. Because if awareness moved with your sadness and moved up with your happiness, then it would not be able to detect a change. The knower is changeless. So awareness is changeless and your thoughts are changing. The known are many, the awareness is one. Now, this is quite profound. Because then we say, okay, there only appears to be a one awareness. So, is there a knower of awareness? And this is the good news and the bad news, really. First of all, the awareness is the ultimate knower. There is no one that knows awareness. Awareness is the end of the line. All right. It is that by which all else is known. And that end of the line, the good news, is you. Yes. You are the awareness by which thoughts are known. Think about it. If I were to say, do you exist? Most of you would say, yes, of course I exist. All right. How do you know? I just know that I exist. I don't have to ask somebody else. There was the joke that says that I must exist because my wife would not have married a non-existent person. Therefore, I must exist. But you know through yourself that you exist. Right? It is a self-recognition, a self-knowledge, without needing any external verification. You know that you exist. Awareness is like that. You do not need to shine a torch at the sun. The sun's light tells you, it is self-illuminating. It tells you that it is there. And awareness is in that same way. So one awareness, many thoughts. Awareness is the ultimate knower. Since we know our thoughts, we know when we're sad, we know when we're happy. Since we know our thoughts, who am I? I am awareness itself. Interesting, isn't it? Namaste.